Okay. Well, hi everyone, and thank you for joining me. This session is about LTMC and LTMOM, and I did this a while ago, so hopefully most of it is still valid. We went from 46C to 1709, which, is quite a jump. So what we did is we re-implemented and put in all of our data from one place to the other. So getting started, oh dear. Getting started, it was a challenge because the first thing we ran across was our credit management for our business partners. Now, you would think it would be easy to move things from XD03 just right into BP because, how different is that? It's really not. So we created LTMC and LTMOM and tried it. And it didn't work because what we tried adding all of the information at once. I mean, it's on one spreadsheet, why not? So we tried doing all of that, and there was an issue. The big issue was the customer credit. Another thing, in case it's not obvious, is we did make a table to cross-reference a lot of our data, the customer and the material. So there's the breakdown that it has. Okay, so in general, here's an example. Maybe. I'm finding the example. I'm sorry, guys. There you are. No, move over. Okay. So here's an example of what we did for just the customer. And you can see we tried everything at once. That doesn't work. Don't try that. So then what we ended up doing was we split it all out, of course. And we did the next time, I believe, was this. Because we couldn't get the roles working right, the big thing was that there was a problem with our roles and our orgs. Sorry about that. Our orgs. And the organizations weren't coming in right. So we had to start by building first the customers, then the organization. And here's some of our mapping. This is just one-to-one across. And here we go. I got the target by using this function module. And this is one I created. It's kind of yucky because I created it very fast. And all it does is it adds the role. So I thought we were all set. We had it all good. And then something else came up. We had that all done, and then we went ahead and found out that when we were doing it, even after we did the roles, we had to completely do the credit segment differently. So here's the credit segment. Here's some of the structure mapping. I'm going really quick again, but this is some of the stuff I built out, so it's not so hard to follow. I just mapped the structures across and then the field mapping. And the target structure was that. What this is the first part of it is adding the credit to the customer master. Now that was good because there was already a function module out there. it was bad because it didn't have everything we wanted in it, and we had to do a wrapper as well. So this is my version of a very quick wrapper function module. You can tell that all the information I have is here, and then I simply execute it. The other one that I had was to look at the roles and make sure they were there. And I may or may not find this. So we'll try. No, we're not going to try. So that was what was going on. So in this, you can see this is LTMC, and you can tell that it has all the separate ones. So I would suggest you only do the general data first, and then you can do the text anytime after that, and then all the rest of it with the exception of credit, which you do last after you add a segment to the role. Oh, this is a good thing to remember. This is client dependent. So it's built on a WebDimpro thought. And so if you're like me and the data loads on a different client than what you're programming on, that's not good. So you might find yourself getting a short dump. If that happens, just recompile on the other client, which is what I did. And I went through those. Oh, yep. And there was the program. Okay. So the next problem you probably are going to run into is with debugging. I mean, you know how to debug your function module, and it's working great. You start LTMOM, and that works great. But then you're running LTMC, and it doesn't work. And you're like, oh no, what am I going to do with this? Well, luckily, there's this little button up here that says source. And it'll pop you into something like this, which gives you all the different SAP includes that it creates. It recreates these things each and every time you recompile. And remember, they're dependent on the client, so make sure you go into the right one to set your breakpoints. But it really helped me a lot to be able to do that. I'd set one, and then I'd run LTMC, and it would nicely open up, and I could see what was missing from it. A lot of times it was something I did strange in LTMC. Oh, this is a good one too. The data shows that it's done. Actually, I could do the test run on this, and the data shows, okay, I'm all done loading, and you didn't really load anything into the system. However, LTMC has a table that it holds that information in, and you need to get rid of it. So to get rid of it, there are two programs that you can use. They both work equally as well. So kind of nice to have, and nice to know that I picked up. Another thing is the material master issue. The basic data is what you need to know to get to the other views. And in the basic data, there is something called administration data. That you have to have the same thing in all of your views. It really isn't changing. So some quick reminders. Gosh, I'm talking quick. Make sure you generate in each client. Be ready to create your own programs to delete the data. That's another thing that I didn't stop on is I didn't see any way to back out my data. So about the only thing I had to do in between refreshers is delete it, right? So I had to go through and try and find some BAPIs or function modules or something like that to delete the data. Be ready to create your own programs. Yep. Practice as much as you can. That's a normal data migration thing. Now, this last one was interesting to me because I'm used to everybody expecting the computer to do it. But if there's a small subset of data or something small that needs to be entered into your system, my suggestion is don't worry about it. Have some of your coworkers that are normally in that job enter it. You can even call it training at that point, but don't spend your time. You're going to spend more time trying to load it into it than what they can type into it. And here are some links. I found some really interesting blogs. Like I said, it's hard to find these things. I mean, you're going to search and you're going to come up with 500,000 of them. So hopefully there'll be some by people you recognize or some that immediately look like something you could use. And then you can use them to go ahead and get things done. And I talked fast, so that's the end of my presentation. Any questions?
We don't have any question yet. If anyone want to ask the question, you can type on the chat. Guys, you can ask the question in the chat if you want to. There's no question yet. If you have any additional stuff that you want to,
That is it. If you need help, don't hesitate to email me. Let me know. I can help you with a lot because we went through a lot to get the data into our system. But thank you all for listening to me. And don't forget, this event is actually for a fundraiser for Girls Who Code too. So if you have a couple bucks, please go donate. Thanks. All right, where are you?
okay, if there's no any question, we can have a raffle. So I'm gonna scan my screen here.
This one's gone.
So the winner is GP. I'm gonna contact you for the further details.
Mhm.
So that's all. Thank you for watching and enjoy the other session.